Hello, welcome. This channel's name is Apple Blossom. My name is Mary Claire, and today we are going to be making a greeting card. This is a design, it's just a simple little design that I got in my head today, and I thought that it would be fun to just do little tutorials on greeting cards. I am not a professional. I would love to consider myself a professional someday, but I'm not sure if that's a great goal or not in this case, because I've been making greeting cards and illustrating things for my family and friends for most of my life. It's been fun for me. I think it's been fun for them. And I just wanted to, share some ideas and show that it can be pretty simple, even if you don't have formal artistic training or even a lot of time or any fancy materials. If you don't want to go to the store and spend potentially a lot of money on a greeting card, because the prices for greeting cards have gone up, as you may have noticed, or if you just want to make it a little bit more personal, I just thought that while I figure out my own journey of being a creative person, I would share some of my ideas and processes. But again, I'm not a professional. I'm just going to try to keep this simple and easy, and also the filming, I'm hoping that this will be in, I think it's in focus. I'll try not to bump the camera. Anyway, let's get started. So right here we have something really scary. This is called a blank piece of paper. A lot of us are very scared of this. But with this, we can create an expression of ourselves, even if it's not what we have in our heads. If we want to tell somebody how we feel, or say thank you, or say, I'm sorry you're going through that, whatever it is we might be trying to convey with a greeting card, we might have in our head an image of a really fancy store-bought card or something that's really professional looking. And I don't think it has to be that complicated. I think the main point is what you're trying to tell the other person, whether it's in the picture you're drawing or in the words you write inside the card, or a combination of both. And a card can be something that is thrown away after being read, or it can be something that's kept for many years and cherished. You never know what will happen to the little blank piece of paper that you decide to turn into something a little special. So let's give this a shot. Let me get the cat hair off of this. So this is super duper simple version. Sometimes I will take an envelope that I know I want to use. Like this is a pretty normal 4 something by 5 something inch greeting card envelope. I think it's an invitation envelope. And I'll measure how big it is, and then I'll use a ruler, and I will just I can go into that in another video, if I'd use like a cardstock or something thicker. But this is just printer paper. It's really thin, and so if I just folded it like this, then not only would it be really flimsy, but it would also not fit in most normal envelopes. This is an 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper, and obviously you can do that. You can fold this like this, do whatever you want, give it to somebody like this. There is nothing wrong with that at all. But we're gonna try something that will fit inside a cute little envelope. So we folded it once, we're gonna fold it one more time. So fold it into quarters. If my head or my hair peeks into the frame, please forgive me. I have a very inexpensive little camera stand that I'm still figuring out, and this is my first time trying this, so thank you for your patience. Okay, so we have here our card. It's ready to go. We just have to do everything to it first. So this is so basic. Like, y'all have probably made cards like this when you were kids. Like, please don't feel like I'm trying to explain. I'm just saying what I'm doing and hoping that my thought processes will come out with something that's helpful for all of us. So anyway, typical little folded card. And as you know, you can have it like this, or You could do it this way if you want to have more of a sideways image. I'm blanking on what that word is. Yeah. So for this, actually, let's go ahead and let's do it this way. So I went on a walk this morning, and it's springtime, it's April, and I saw beautiful tulips, and I saw a rabbit. So that's what I'm gonna draw. I think when you're, okay, as I talk, I'm just gonna explain what I'm about to do. So I like to draw a frame around my images. I just think it looks tidier, and I'm just gonna eyeball it. You can measure stuff, but I'm just gonna create, I don't know, this is about 1/2 inch, but just create a little border around the card like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. It depends on how, I don't know, if you're making like a really nice birthday card for somebody, you might decide to measure things really carefully. But if you're just making like a I've been thinking about you card, or just a like thank you for existing card, just do whatever works. You know, it's more important that you bring the card into existence than it be perfect. Anyway, so there's a little border. I almost forgot I was gonna draw. I was gonna divide this into 2 sections. I have no idea. I kind of have this image in my head, but I don't know if it's gonna work. So we'll find out together. So I'm just gonna draw 2 little frames like this. That was squiggly. So I'm using a pencil, and I'm drawing really lightly because I'm gonna go back in with a pen over top of it. Yeah. So I'm already not sure if this is gonna work quite the way I pictured. But anyway, so I guess just probably this would be better as a voiceover. I'll get there eventually. I'll figure out how to edit. Anyway, so when you're making a card for somebody, I think it's really nice to think about who this person is. Who are they to me? What kind of person are they? What do they like? What's the occasion? So obviously you want to think about those things, but sometimes that's hard. Like some people it's really hard to figure out what they like or what they might like on a card. Just because they like something, you might feel like, oh, I feel really cheesy making a card like that, or I don't have the physical ability to draw the thing that I think they would like on a card. I think flowers are almost always a safe option. Flowers are always there for us. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a gal. Some people are not fans of flowers. I know one of my grandfathers, he died before I was born, but he was a mortician for part of his career, and he did not like flowers. He said that flowers stink pretty, something like that, because he associated them with funerals and stuff like that. So it totally depends on the person. However, flowers are there almost all year round, and they can have so many meanings. If you're in doubt about something to draw, look up Victorian florology. I think that's what it's called, the language of flowers. You can get some really cool ideas about what different colors and types of flowers mean. But there's so many options for things to draw. I just tend to kind of gravitate towards flowers because I think they're beautiful, I think they're fun, they're easy, and they can just be so meaningful and attractive. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And a bunny. I can't draw like realistic stuff. So anyway, over here, we're gonna draw the image I have in my head of a bunny I saw down an alley this morning, which was from behind. He's gonna look like a little snowman at first. I think that this is probably a little shadowy. I'm gonna move this light. That might help a bit. Hold on. Okay. All right, little haunches. A small tail. Hopefully this is showing up on camera. We're gonna make it darker though, so it's gonna be fine. And not really sure how to draw the ears. Now his head was still turned this way, so just drawing it from my mind's eye. And he had a little bit of grass sticking out of his mouth. It was very cute. I wanted to take a picture, but he moved too fast. It was very cute. Anyway, as you can tell, adorable. Like, what is that even? It's the process. Okay, so that's a bunny. And then Should I start from the top or the bottom of the drawing? The flower. Let's start from the flower. It's just a tulip. Just a tulip. I was noticing on my walk, I'm going to play around with the shape a little bit. Tulips actually come in such a variety of shapes. There are some that are kind of that classic, like nice and rounded look, but then there are some that are kind of star-shaped. It's just really interesting. This is not going to be your typical tulip. This is not necessarily going to be super recognizable as a tulip, but this is my tulip for today. This is what the tulip on this piece of paper is going to look like. Actually, I can't remember what the tulips look like from below. It doesn't have to be perfect. We are not going to be entering this into a scientific journal. We are going to be entering this into somebody's heart. I guess also, I've always liked the idea of drawing, just having like a stash of handmade cards that are sort of just for different occasions. I find myself going to the store and buying cards, and for me, I always feel weird when I do that because there is nothing wrong with buying cards. There are so many cute cards out there, but I enjoy drawing cards, and like some of my family and friends expect me to make them cards at this point. It's not like a pressure thing. It's just sort of I've done it so often. So this might be this might be the start of my stash, my card stash. Anyway, so there's a tulip shape, sort of, and then tulips have the most beautiful, graceful leaves. They're just really pretty. I'm just gonna kind of make swoopy shapes. Also, I just really like making borders like this because there's something about getting an image to cross over a border that I just find really romantic and beautiful. I don't know, I find it really attractive, the way you can create these boundaries and then you draw over the boundaries. I don't remember where I first saw that being used. I first used it myself when I was trying to do like this little illustrated book project of my own, and I did not have the technical skills needed to go onto an editing program and clean up edges, and so I just made all my edges square and I created frames inside of the outer frame so I could create this spilling over effect within the outermost frame without having to actually create any complicated edges. So I could then scan or photograph the drawings that I had done and I could just clip them with straight lines, like in, I don't even remember what I used. Probably the equivalent to like the Apple painting program. I forget what I used, but that way I could have what looked fancy without having to like have that extra learning curve of learning all of the editing equipment, which I should probably maybe think about doing someday. Hey, Fennel. Fennel, the kitty boy, makes his appearance again. Hi, Mr. Fennel. Okay. Anyway, so this is it. I'm just gonna, I don't want this video to be like, it's already pretty long. So let me just ink this real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and use, I'm gonna use this brown for the bunny. These are very fancy. These are Faber-Castell pens, and they are, I think they're pretty expensive, but they were a gift from one of my siblings, and they're really nice. They have, one end is a pretty traditional pen, kind of just a liner, a thickish liner, and then there's cat fur stuck to it. There's always cat fur. And then Fennel, I don't think you should come up here right now, buddy. Let's see. Trying to make life decisions here. I know blue isn't always the best option, but I have a tendency to outline, oops, wrong end, white objects in blue. Again, somebody needs to learn her color theory a little bit better, but that's where we are right now. We will just learn as we go. So anyway, here's a rabbit. Anyway, these pens are very, very nice, but they are pretty expensive and you do not need these. You can get the cheapest equipment in the world and make something of it. I'm just using them because I like them, I have them, and my brother gave them to me, so yay. Okay, so we're just gonna do simple outlines. I guess I should use, I have another green, so I'm gonna use the green. It doesn't really matter. It seriously doesn't matter. That's kind of the main, actually no, I'm gonna use this green. It doesn't really matter that much. I know, like if you're going to art school or something like that, see if I can do this without messing up. And by messing up, I mean doing something that looks subjectively hideous. I don't mean that there are strict rules here. Just like, you know, I don't think that that's what a tulip, that's probably wrong. But again, that's okay. What was I trying to say? Oh yeah, you just want it to be in existence. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of following very roughly the sketch that I laid out. My hand is feeling kind of unsteady. I think because I'm filming. I usually am a little bit more in the zone. A little bit I can make smoother lines, but I'm also trying to not make the camera shake real bad, and so obviously circumstances will affect things like this, but it's fine. You get the idea. Hey Fennel, what's good, buddy? What you doing, baby? I've got two kitties right here with me. Little Miss Yu is with me too. Alright, and I'm gonna do a pink tulip. Tulips have so much variety. Again, I talked about the shape earlier, but they have so much variety in color as well. Yeah, they've been bred to have so many different shades, and then there are variegated ones. They have such beautiful, like you can find a yellow tulip, for example, that has red streaking in it, and it really looks like it's been painted. It's really lovely. And they have different meanings. Like I'm gonna do pink, and pink can mean congratulations, or joy, or good luck, happiness, affection. There are so many different meanings to even just a pink tulip, and that can be just helpful to kind of, I guess, guide you if you are really stuck in what to draw, what you'd like to make. It doesn't have to be that meaningful. A lot of people don't pay attention to flower meanings anymore, but I think it's fascinating and fun, so there we go. I usually use a ruler for this part. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm really not used to this. Bear with me. I'm using another brown one. I usually outline things in black. I have black, what are they called? What are these? The Micron pens. I have a number of these, and I usually use those to outline things, but I thought it would look a little gentler, is that a word? Gentler, using colors. I don't know, I'm experimenting, just trying things out. But yeah, so I've traced the original lines that I made on the inside, and now I'm just going along and tracing that frame that we made earlier. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I actually kind of like it when like the ends look like this. It depends on the look you're going for, of course, but I kind of like the, oh, this was a sketched out illustration kind of vibe when you have the ends that are sort of overlapping, but you can also try to make it really clean. It just depends on what you want. So next up is usually I will go in with I have a little eraser thing. I have a whole package of these, and you're supposed to put them, I guess, inside this mechanical eraser holder, but I just don't tend to do that. I guess one of the things about using a color pen to do the outlines is that maybe you can get some of the graphite from the pencil you used trapped underneath. So if you looked really closely under the pink of the flower, you might be able to see some of the lines left over. But again, this is a handmade illustration by a non-professional who just wants to give their friend or family member a little card. I don't know. It's kind of all part of the aesthetic of it. It's all the vibe. Okay, so we have here something kind of cute. And I love using colored pencils. I have lots of like Crayola colored pencils. This is taupe. I'm very fond of the taupe. And that's what I usually use to color things. My method of drawing is pretty much to create a coloring book page for myself, and then I color it. Yes, Fennel? I don't know if you can hear Fennel meowing. He's being very insistent. Hey, buddy, I'll be done soon. I'm trying to hurry up here so this video is not too long. And again, this is really quick. I've had some times when I've taken a lot more time with drawings and tried to make it really, really pretty, but this is just kind of an example. And maybe I can do that more later, after I've committed more to figuring out how to, you know, edit videos and do voiceovers so that I can just film the whole process with a better setup, and then that way I can just film in peace and not worry about talking while I'm actually doing it. Well, this has been fine. So I just colored it in. I added a little shading around the sides and maybe around his tail a little bit there. Take a little bit of green, his grass, and then take a pink. It's not the same pink. I like having different shades of the same color in a given object. I just enjoy that. And I don't try realistic drawing. I have practiced it in the past. I've tried plants, like flowers again, and I had a series I had when I was in my teens. There was one K-pop group of guys that I really liked them, and just as a challenge, they were a pretty big group, and I drew a number of them. I just found a headshot for each one, and I tried to draw it as realistically as possible. And I haven't done that sort of thing in a while, but that process of trying to copy a photograph and really paying attention to what it actually looks like, not just in your head what a nose looks like, for example, what a person's nose looks like, but actually paying attention to what is actually visibly there as far as shadows are concerned and shapes. It's fascinating because you don't feel like you're drawing a nose. You're like, what am I drawing? This is so weird. Individually, all the parts look so odd. But then when you back away, you realize, oh, if I had drawn this any other way, it wouldn't actually look like that person's nose. So it was primarily a really good exercise in learning to draw what I'm seeing, not just how I think something should look, but the actual shapes and shades that are in front of my eyes. And the result that can come from that is absolutely amazing. But you can also get something amazing by drawing what's in your head, something really stylized. So I think that the contrast between those things is just a good learning experience. And I'd love to take more classes, like watercolor class and stuff like that, but I'm not trying to become a classically trained artist. I admire them a lot. I just enjoyed more like, I guess it's called naive or folk art, where you make art and you don't worry about the fact that it's not perfect or it's not technically accurate or anything like that. I think there's a place for all kinds of art in this world, and there's room for whatever this is. So anyway, this is a flower and a bunny. I think I might add a few more little details to it, but like maybe some color in the background. I don't know. How long is this video? I'm gonna take a peek. Oh, it's a long video. Okay, well, I think that's pretty much it. You could definitely leave it like this. I think it has a kind of pretty stained glass effect, You can add some shading as well. Oh, something I've been enjoying doing is the other side of these pens has this really nice brush tip. And let me test it real quick. The color, make sure it's not gonna look, yeah, that's fine. I've been enjoying going over the colored pencil and just kind of adding extra shading. And this part is not necessary. It does not make it even more realistic, to be honest. But it just adds little details and I enjoy it. It's kind of therapeutic. I don't know. I like it. I'm not doing the best job in the world, but like the brush shape on this is so nice to use. And again, if you go out and look at some tulips or you look them up online and you can see the variety that they have and some of the really painterly patterns in some of them, it's just really enjoyable. Let me see if I can just add a few more details to the bunny with this pen. I don't know. You have to be careful because sometimes you can get carried away, or I should say I can get carried away and I can add some stuff and I'll be like, okay, I went a little far there. I think I liked it the way it was, but when you remember that it's not too serious and you just want to have fun or give this to somebody you care about and they care about it because it comes from you, that's all you really need. So anyway, let's see if I can stand up without wrecking things. Alright, so this is a very long video, but I appreciate you watching or listening, and this is our little card. This has been a fun time. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you later. Alright, goodbye.